Leg out.
The kings had their queens on the throne. We will pop champagne and raise a toast. I'm a Barbie girl in my Barbie world. No Barbie girl, I'm living in my own world. I am plastic, call me classic. La 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 la.
DJ Precise.
It goes around the world just la 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 la. It's all around the world. Now and then I think about me now and who I could have been, and then I picture all the.
The morning sun filters through the room as Jimin smiles warmly at the camera, talking to his fan, the chat filling with birthday wishes. Everyone seems perfect until a comment flashes across the scene. Jimin, is that your daughter? His brows furrows in confusion. What? He hesitates, glancing over his shoulder, and his heart nearly stops. There, standing quietly behind him, is Ira. Jimin eyes widen in shock, his pulse racing. Ira. He whispers Wesley Bell to process the situation. Ira tilted her head, her small voice breaking through the tension. In an instant, Jimin snaps back to reality. He quickly turns around, frantically ending the live stream. His heart is pounding as the screen goes black. His fans, millions of them, had just seen his daughter. The one thing he's always kept away from the public, his private world, had just collided with the world he spends every day protecting his family. Jimin sat there for a moment, his anger rising. He's one of the biggest celebrities in the world. Fame has brought him immense success, but also threats, stalkers, and a constant fear of his loved one's safety. He's always been clear his family faces would never be relieved. His fans know he's married, but they never seen his wife, never seen his children. That's his private life. And now, in a split of a second, it's being exposed. Anger flare-ups, hot and fierce. He feels his building, but when he turns and sees Ira, small, innocent, her eyes wide with confusion, it hits him that she doesn't understand. She had no idea what she was doing. Jimin forces himself to breathe, his jaw clenched tight. Stay calm, don't yell, don't scare her. When he finally speaks, his voice is calm, but there's a sharpness underneath. Ira, what are you doing in here? Ira looks at him, her little hands fidgeting. I heard you laughing, Papa. I just wanted to see you. Jimin's heart tightens at her words, but his fear for her safety still burns. He kneels down to her level, placing his hand gently on her small shoulders. His anger softened, replaced by a concern and a need to protect her. Ira, sweetheart, you can't come in when Papa is working, okay? Especially when I'm talking to people online. It's really important. Ira blinks up at him, not fully understanding but sensing his seriousness. Why, Papa? I just wanted to be with you. Jimin sighs, running a hand through his hair, trying to find the right words. Because, baby, when I'm live, a lot of people are watching, and some of those aren't always safe. Papa Joseph different, and I need to protect you and keep you safe. But Papa, Ira is just 7 and she couldn't understand even 10% of it. Jimin says, running a hand through his hair, trying to find the right words. Ira, go upstairs to your room, he says, his voice soft but firm. Papa's not going to work today. I'm home all day and we will play together, okay? Ira's face light up with instantly, completely oblivious to the anger that had just surged through him. She bounces on her toes, excitement bubbling over. Really, Papa? You'll stay at home all day? We can make a house for Nana. Jimin forces a smile, nodding at her. Yes, we'll make a house for Nana. But for now, go to your room. I will be there in a little while. Ira beams and rushes off, her little footsteps echoing down the hallway, leaving Jimin alone with his thoughts. As soon as she's out of sight, his smile fades and the anger he's been holding back flickers in his eyes, his fist tighten. He hates the constant fear that someone might harm his family. He stands up abruptly, his emotion boiling over. You who had been in the hallway talking to your sister on the phone freeze as soon as you hear his voice. Your heart skips a beat. It's rare to hear him like this, and something about the edge in his tone sends a wave of worry crashing through you. Quickly you end the call. Jimin's eyes are blazing, his frustration evident in this way. His hands are balled into fists as he voices, I told you to keep the kids out of the room. He snaps, his voice low but filled with anger. The intensity of his words hits you like a punch in the chest, but before you can respond, his gaze shifts past you, landing on the twins. He stops, his eyes softening just slightly as he sighs deeply, trying to rein in his temper. Chris, Kiki, he calls out, his voice calmer but still heavy with tension. Are you done eating? Both of them wide-eyed look up at him from their plates. Yes, Papa, Chris replies. Go upstairs and get your toys. Jimin instructs his tone gentler. Papa's staying home today and we'll all play together. Chris' face lights up instantly and he nearly jumps out of his seat in excitement. Really, Papa will play? Jimin notes his frustration buried for a moment under his love for his kids. Yes, go on. Without a second thought, Chris grabs Kiki's hand and they both run upstairs, the sound of their happy footsteps fading as they disappear into their rooms. The moment they are out of the sight, the atmosphere shifts. You start to say something. Jimin, but he cuts you off with a raised hand, not even looking at you as he waits for the kids to be completely out of earshot. Once their laughter fades upstairs, he let out a breath, his shoulders still tense, and then he loses it. Do you have any idea what happened? He hisses, his voice shaking with strange anger. I told you to keep the kids away from the room. Ira walked into my live stream. Do you know? You know what I deal with, threats, stalkers. Our family is not safe if people see them. You know this? His voice cracks slightly as he runs a hand through his hair, pacing back and forth. I spent years keeping their faces hidden, protecting them, and today, because of one snake, all of the almost went to waste. He stops in front of you. You take a deep breath, trying to step. I know, Jimin, I am sorry. My sister called and I didn't think they would. Seriously, that's your excuse? He snaps, eyes blazing. Phone call? You think that justifies this mess? You're completely useless. You had one responsibility. The sting of his words hits you hard. I am sorry, you say softly, desperate to absorb his anger. People have seen Ira's face. Do you realize how dangerous this is? His voice rises, panic, fueling his rage. What the hell were you thinking? I didn't think, you reply, your voice trembling. Exactly, you didn't think at all. He runs a hand through his hair, pacing like a caged animal. How can you be so careless? I can't protect you all if you don't take this seriously. You're making my job 10 times harder. I am sorry, I didn't mean for anything to this happen. Ryan, I need you to step up and to be committed to our family safety as I am. This is not just on me. I am sorry, you reply. You look down, feeling the weight of Jimin anger has really laid into you, and you can sense that he's about to explode again. Just then, Jimin parents came. Why are you running? Jimin mother enters the hall, her voice cutting through the tension. She's always adored you, and seeing her son yelling at you, his favorite girl, concerns her. Ask her what she has done. Jimin replies, lowering his voice but still simmering with frustration. Sensing his mother makes you emotional and tears begin to form in your eyes. She rushes over and wraps you in, comforting her, trying to soothe your distress. Jimin, however, feels even more frustrated at the sight. He thinks you are. His father steps in, trying to calm Jimin down. What happened? He asks gently. Jimin runs a hand through his hair, trying to keep his cool. Ira's face got revealed, and guess what? Because of your precious daughter-in-law, I have to increase the security. They won't be able to go to the school in a normal environment anymore. Jimin has always wanted his children to feel special, especially as the kids of a famous K-pop idol, but he also wanted to have a normal life with a relaxed school environment and minimal security. Now everything feels ruined because of this incident, and he can't help but blame you for it. Jimin, please, his mother urges, pulling back to look at him. You can't talk to her like that. She's your wife. Mom, this isn't a small mistake. Jimin snapped, the frustration boiling over. I know she messed up, but it wasn't on purpose. His father counters, stepping into a reason with him. You need to give her a break. Dad. First, stop yelling. His father cuts him off, raising his voice slightly. If the kids hear you screaming like this on their mother, what do you think I'll do to them? You are their father, not some raging monster. Jimin clenches his fist, clearly struggling to contain his emotion. She's so careless, Dad. Jimin, listen, his father continues, softer now. One mistake doesn't define her. You need to be calm down in the storm. Jimin quietly excuses himself and walks upstairs, his presence disappearing from the room without a word or a glance in your direction. You watch him leave, your heart sinking even further. Jimin mother notices the way your shoulders sag, and she walks over to you with a concern in her eye, gently placing a hand on your arm. She says, come with me, dear, guiding you towards the hall. She sits you down on the couch, her touch comforting but unable to hold back the flood of emotions welling up inside you. The moment you say tears start to fall, you can't hold them. Jimin mother quickly wraps her arms around you, pulling you close like a protective shield. Shh, Ryan, I know, she whispers softly, rubbing your back in slow, soothing circles. Please stop crying. Fights happen, sweetheart. It's just a part of life. You try to speak through your sobs. Heart achy seeks you like this, and she gently tilts your chin up to meet your eyes. Wine, listen to me, she says firmly but kindly. Jimin is upset right now, yes, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. You didn't ruin anything, honey. He just needs some time to cool off. You shake your head, the guilt overwhelming you, but it's a special day and I. Jimin mother sighs, pulling you closer again. I know, sweetheart, and I know you didn't mean for any of this to happen. Jimin will calm down, trust me. He's just protective of the kids. I'll take little time, but he'll come around. He loves you more than anything. You know that, right? Your tears fall harder as you whisper. It doesn't feel like it right now. She wipes away the tears from your cheeks. That's because he's too blinded by his anger right now. But when it passes, he'll see things clearly again. Don't take his words to heart. He didn't mean them, you know, but the heaviness in your chest remains. I wish I could make things right. You will, she says, her voice safe yet confident. The important thing now is to give him some space and let him work through his feelings. Just be patient, okay? He'll come back to you, and he always does. Take a deep breath, trying to steady yourself. Her words giving you a small glimmer of hope. On other side, Jimin storms upstairs, still fuming from the argument. His mind is racing, frustration simmering beneath the surface. But the moment he reaches the kids' room, his anger begins to dissipate. The sight of them, his children, immediately softens him. Half of his anger melts away as he watches them play, and the rest he forces himself to swallow. A small smile tugs at his lips as he opens the door and step inside. Chris and Ira, always full of energy, rush towards him. The moment they see him, their faces light up with excitement. Papa, they both shout. Jimin chuckles softly, bending to ruffle their hair. Hey, my little troublemakers, he says, his voice much gentler now. Meanwhile, Kiki sits on the floor, quietly playing with her doll, completely absorbed in her own world. She's always been Mama's girl, less focused on him than Chris and Ira, who constantly demand his attention. Hey, princess, he says softly, sitting down with Kiki on his lap. He barely glances at him, more interested in her doll, but Jimin doesn't mind. He knows she's the one who pays the least attention to him, and he cherishes these small moments with her. Jimin looks at his kids, a soft smile on his face as he holds Kiki on his lap. Do you know why you are so special, children? Chris and Ira immediately light up, their children sparkling up. Because you are our papa, they exclaim together, their voice filled with pure joy. Jimin chuckled, his heart swelling with affection. Kiki is still focused on her doll, softly says, Papa child, in her quiet, innocent voice, making Jimin's smile glow even wider. Yeah, exactly, because I'm your papa, he replies, his voice warm. But do you know who I am? Ah, Papa, Jimin laughed at Kiki's innocent answer. I know, I'm your papa. But what I do when I go to work, do you know? Chris furrows his little brow, thinking hard. He remembers you once telling him. Jimin laughed, shaking his head. No, baby, I'm not single. I am a singer. Ira never want to be left out. Quickly jumps in. No, Mama says you are a Sally. You struggles. Her brows crunch in concentration, even though Ira doesn't have total speech like Chris. Celebrity is still a tricky word for her. Jimin chuckles again, amused by their attempts. Celebrity. Iron beams finally understanding. Celebrity. Rick looks confused, glancing between Ira and Jimin. What celebrity means, he asks, struggling.